So let me make the point here that Barbudans must be empowered to rebuild and to repair their properties. I see one person here in the audience as a Barbudan. And by the way, we're not talking about the mayor and so on. They're not getting their land, so you don't have to worry about that. We're talking about Barbudans. Having a carve-out for Barbudans. That is the issue here. I don't want anybody to go off at a tangent to suggest that we're trying to sell De Niro and Packer and other investors your land on a freehold basis. That is not the discussion that we're having. The discussion that we're having is how we're going to help Barbudans to rebuild. You have a gentleman here in the audience, Mr. James, Mr. Reuben James, who had a small hotel property that was doing well, that was totally demolished. In fact, I believe half of the property probably is the Caribbean Sea, gone to someone island, not even Barbuda. So, the question is, how do we empower a Barbudan whose entire livelihood was destroyed by this hurricane? Do we create a carve-out for the Barbudan people? Do we give you the option in which we say to you as a Barbudan people, okay, fine, it's your land, we're not challenging that. But hear what? We will legitimize your ownership. So whatever land you occupied, we say to you, no problem, rather having this informal arrangement where you neither have lease or freehold title, that we give you a formal title backed by the government. So if you wish, you can use that land to get your financing to rebuild. And I want to make a point here. Let me repeat, because I know that we potentially have some budding politicians in the audience who may want to exploit the discussion. This is a carve-out exclusively for Barbudans, not Infantigans, for Barbudans who live in Barbuda, who have suffered damage, who do not have the resources to rebuild, and need to get a leg up in order to restore their properties, to rebuild their properties. Look, ultimately, if we make the change to empower them and we offer them title and they say they don't want it, that's their choice. But I think that as a government, we have a responsibility to explore all the options in order to rebuild Barbuda and to make it an even more viable country, a more viable island than it was in the past. So, it's your choice. And by the way, tonight is not a discussion about the myth. So we can put that one to rest. Well, let me emphasize here that I only spoke about the myth in passing. It is not intended to be the subject of the discussion. The issue is, how can we cooperate as a people to make lives, or the lives of the Barbudans better? Let's look at creative ways and mechanisms in which we can assist them to rebuild and to rebuild as soon as possible. I know that some of the Barbudans are anxious to get back over. We understand why they're anxious. It's their home. But you have to understand that we have to protect them from injury because of the rubble that is still on the island. We also have to protect them from waterborne and vector-borne diseases. You go over to Barbuda today, I know there's always been mosquitoes, but the abundance of mosquitoes and water flies is such that they now represent a health risk to the inhabitants of Barbuda. Now, we have to be responsible as a government. The last thing we want is to have a situation where the Barbudans contract diseases such as Zika, chikungunya, and then they spread it through the entire population. We also have to protect them from waterborne diseases. We have studies that have been done already by PAHO that confirm that the water in the cisterns would have been compromised. We also have a situation where there's no water on the islands yet. And how do you live on an island without water, without electricity, without any functional institution, no hospital, no police station, no fire station, no schools? All we're asking here is for there to be some level of forbearance. Now let me tell you what the plan is. The plan is to move Barbudans systematically and as quickly as possible back over to the island. So for example, within 2 weeks, the cleanup would have been completed. Already we have almost 100 Barbudans on the island assisting with the cleanup. And we will provide the relief supplies for those who have the level 1 and level 2 properties to get them rebuilt as soon as possible, so that they can move over almost immediately. Exactly. We were told by AQA that they can have water and electricity restored in about 6 weeks. We're doing everything. We're doing everything humanly possible to make sure that it happens within that time frame. So for example, we have already made available in the region of about $10 million to purchase various supplies for water, telephone, electricity. The plan is to charter a vessel to go directly to Barbuda to deliver the supplies in a matter of weeks. We'll also get 2 new generators because we understand that the existing ones were compromised. All of the parts for the reverse osmosis plant will also be procured and shipped to Barbuda as soon as possible. The cleanup has started. There's some equipment on the island. We're even making provisions to equip Barbudans with their own equipment. In fact, just today, I got a charity, or a firm for that matter, to make a charitable donation to a young Barbudan female of Ibaco. And the idea is that person will have to utilize it for the cleanup and for other community services, and the tobacco will belong to the person. We're also making arrangements to secure loans for Barbudans to acquire equipment, because unfortunately, most of the equipment that is taking part in the cleanup is from Antigua. We want to use this opportunity now to empower Barbudans in a serious way. And I've taken a position long ago, even before I became the Prime Minister, that Barbudans will not be second-class citizens in our country. The same opportunities that are available to Antiguans will be available to Barbudans. So, again, I just want to appeal to all of us to work together. The land champions who came today to fight, or tonight to fight, not tonight. We are here to discuss how we can cooperate and to deal with this serious problem affecting our Twin Island state, and to see how we can make Barbuda bigger and better. In fact, the carve-outs that we're looking for Barbuda going forward is to make it a total green island, and certainly one that is climate resilient. But we're also trying to carve out a medical tourism industry for Barbuda. For example, we are already in discussions with the head of the Miami Children's Hospital to assist us to attract a few hospitals, hopefully from North America, who can operate branches or properties in Barbuda, and to have a couple of hotels as well, so that we can offer, let's say, elective medical services in Barbuda for a fraction of what we pay here in North America, and at the same time to ensure that there is quicker service delivery. To carve out, as I said, a medical tourism niche. We want to make sure that Barbuda becomes sustainable. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but Barbuda literally depends on Antigua for a check. Okay. Okay, I'm told that I'm going to wrap up now, but we may have to move upstairs in a bit. So we may have a little interruption, and we just ask for an orderly movement upstairs. We're going to relocate shortly. But, you know, I was making a point about ensuring the sustainability of Barbuda. Barbuda, over the last 10, 20 years, became totally dependent on Antigua. It was never the intent of Barbuda to rely exclusively on a check every month from Antigua. The intent was for Barbuda to generate its own income and for the central government to supplement it. So we have to do some recalibration going forward to create industries in Barbuda and to make sure that the Barbudan people become truly independent. And let me make the point here, we're not here to be sentimental. We want to have a pragmatic discussion about the advancement of Barbuda and Barbudan people. can't run government on sentiments. Let us come up with a strategy that is practical, and let us come together, use our ideas, our intellect, to come up with a sustainable plan for Barbuda. I thank you. We're going to move upstairs now.